we are the Group 6. The topic that we will report now is all about duties and responsibilities of the officiating officials, volleyball and basketball. Volleyball. Officials at the school, club, national and international level for matches all have officials responsible for refereeing the match, keeping score and watching the court during release to observe, moderate, and determine which of the two teams wins and making sure both teams complete fairly by following official volleyball rules. What's a first referee? The first referee, AKA. The first official, AKA, the AP. Referee start the match, judge each play and call the technical fouls, assign points and side outs as they occur to each qualifying team, and also makes the final decision on questionable plays. He or she is called the up referee because they climb up and call the game from an elevated volleyball stand. The first referee watches the blockers for neat touches, call the double hit, left technical fouls, timeouts, and start each play with a whistle blow to each server. Here are a few more responsibilities of the first referee. Before the match starts, the first referee Here are a few more responsibilities of the first referee. Before the match starts, the first referee inspect the balls, the court equipment like the net and attene, and inspect the condition of the playing area. They perform the coin toss with the team captains and moderates the beginning and ending time for warm-up. During the match, the first referee will issue warning to teams, sanction misconduct delays of the game, decides on possible faults of the player in service and the position of the serving team, watching closely for screens. The faults that can occur when the ball is being played. Attack hit faults committed by the libero if they jump and attack the ball, making contact when the entire ball is above the level of the net.
Volleyball officials was a second referee. The second referee is across from the first referee on the opposite side of the net, officiating the game from the ground. The second referee, one of the volleyball officials, sometimes known as the down referee, assists and supports the first referee mainly by calling fouls that occur under the net. You watch a team's rotation in order to make sure players are in the right position. Foot faults committed by the server or back row hitter. C. Answer questions and monitor the score and players being substituted in and out of the substitution zone. They also look to the linesman for judgment calls when needed. They also watch players on team benches who are in the warm-up area, controls and helps monitor both teams' timeouts, communicates with the scorer at the score table. At the beginning of matches and at the beginning of each set, the second referee checks its team's rotation based on how each coach has entered their starting lineup on the lineup sheet. During competition, they whistle and signal. Any penetration into the opponent's court over the net or under the net, any overlaps or out of position faults by the team in serves received. Back row issues like back row players coming front row to block or liberos jumping to hit a ball that's completely above the top of the net. Anytime the ball touches the floor when the first referee can't see where or how it landed. At the end of the match, the second checks the scores sheet and signs it. Volleyball officials was a scorer. The scorer operates their functions from a table, the scorer's table, which is located behind the second referee. Before the match begins, the scorer registers the numbers on jerseys and each team's lineup in the scorebook and lineup sheets. Gets the signature of the captains and coaches.
During the match, records the points scored by both teams, tracks timeouts and substitutions called, monitors the service order for the team and notifies the second referee if a player serves out of order. Records yellow cards and red cards, misconduct warnings, sanction and improper requests and controls the intervals between sets. Records other events like special substitutions, recovery, long interruptions after the match the scorer. Records the final result. If there are any protests launched during the match, the scorer, with permission from the first referee, will allow the captain of the team launching the protest to write the details of their protest on the score sheet in a statement regarding incident. Signs the score sheet before obtaining the signatures of the team captains and then the referees. Volleyball officials, what alignments. Depending on what type of game is being played, there are 2 or 4 linemans that stand on by only 2 or all 4 corners of the volleyball court. When there are 2 official linemans, one stand at the corner where the sideline and service line meet on one side, and the other linemans stand in the same place on the opposing team side. In official games, the linemen will have a flag in their hands. If not, then they will make their calls using their arms. The responsibility is to judge whether a volleyball has landed inside outside of the sidelines of service lines and to call any block touches. Linemen or line persons use flags to indicate their calls of the ball being in or out. When the call balls close to sidelines or end line touches on balls going out, the ball touches the antenna if the pass is outside of the net, and the third hit of a ball crossing over the net outside the crossing space.
Basketball. Referees are pivotal in the game of basketball. A bad referee can negatively affect the outcome of the game, while a good referee can make sure the win is decided fairly. Read to learn all about a referee's basic roles and responsibilities during the basketball games. Number of referees in the basketball games. The officials and referees are responsible for interpreting the rule book and calling foul and violation during the basketball games. There are also referees that oversee statistics, scorekeeper, the game clock, and shot clock. Replays and when a player steps out of bounds. In the NBA, there are 7 officials, 1 crew chief, 2 referees, 1 official scorekeeper, 2 trained timekeepers, and 1 replay scorekeeper, 2 trained timekeeper, and 1 replay center official. For lower levels of basketball, the numbers of referees for each game can vary. Referee roles and responsibilities. Referees have a lot of responsibilities in a basketball game. These are some of the basic roles and responsibilities shared by on-court officials. Check all game equipment, hoop, ball, backboard, floor. Ensure the pressure of the ball is between 7.5 pounds and 8.5 pounds. Check players' uniforms and remove illegal equipment. Check team roster size and active list. Toss the ball in jump balls. Assign positions of the ball on inbound passes. Game the ball to free throw shooters and inbounders. Call all fouls and violations. Signal added by ball blowing the result. Just most team sports, basketball uses officials to keep track of the score and clock that and make sure that rules are followed. There are a few different types of official present at most basketball games, each with its own roles and responsibilities, different title and set of responsibilities. These 3 are referred to as the crew chief, referee, and umpire.
Crew chief. As the name implies, the crew chief is the head of the entire officiating crew. Duties include making a final ruling when other officials disagree and maintaining a strong line of communication with coaches, scorers, and statisticians. Referee. Officials that occupy the referee position primarily handle conduct violations, while referees are well equipped to call contact, fouls, and illegal positioning. They are mostly relied upon to settle disputes and hand out technical fouls if a player or coach loses control of their emotions and behaves poorly. Umpire. Umpires handle basic foul calls and the clock, making sure the timer knows when to pause and restart the game clock due to a stoppage in play. For example, the umpire will likely be the official to hand down a ruling when a defensive player makes contact with an opposing shooter. In-game responsibilities. During the game, officials are tasked with calling fouls and violations, keeping track of the game clock, and handling disputes from coaches and players. Officials need to remain focused and properly positioned throughout the game, as even the smallest mental lapse can represent the difference between making the right or wrong call.